Truck, find what's never been found. There's no such thing as an unsolved crime. Not anymore. Not if we get it right.
My name is Trevor Eve, and I played a character called Peter Boyd, who was detective superintendent. Like most things, it's two ways. They either send you something, a script, or you audition. Fortunately, with this, I was sent a script, and the script was grabbing. I don't think the character was necessarily on the page. It didn't leap out as being, you know, fully rounded or anything. And I think, in a way, perhaps that was the appeal, that there was an opportunity to create something with other people's help and guidance.
What did he die from?
Well, it's impossible to say now. We don't really have any flesh. And I've seen no marks on the skeleton that a knife might make or any damage to the bones from defense wounds.
Anything on the clothes to indicate violence or a struggle?
Not really a struggle.
But
Well, what we do have left of the cuffs does show positive for blood.
I wasn't really the forensic person. We had very notable actors play the forensic people, and I know that they researched profusely. I mean, they really did know their stuff. We had a detective who was retired, who had been involved in various cases, very infamous cases, and gave us some procedural advice and everything. But of course, then you take a dramatic license. You know, we're not making a documentary. We just want to attain a degree of credibility. His obsession was justice. I think his obsession was the truth. I think, like most fictional detectives, they have their own demons in their personal, private life. So he had those, but I think it was, I always used to be amazed that he was so dedicated to his job. I don't know in reality whether, you know, the degree of commitment, I'm sure it is. I don't want to malign the police force, but certainly Peter Boyd he was incredibly dedicated and stopped at nothing. Often, yeah, to my fascination, I think.
Why did you lie? Because I knew it was him. I knew it was
You
Carl.
you saw his picture plastered all over the papers the next day. You didn't even pick him out of a lineup, did you? You just lied to make it up to your wife, didn't you? Didn't you? Didn't you?
Didn't you? Yes.
Sue Johnston was a complete and utter delight. Apart from being super talented and just in the moment, really sharp, she was up for anything. Really a brave actor. Thoroughly enjoyed her company, and working with her was a thrill. And I miss her.
I don't believe it, you know,
What?
that he wrote it.
Yeah, he did.
No, Perry, I don't believe he wrote that suicide note. He may have committed suicide, but the note was just too pat, too neat, too ordered.
All of them were tremendous. And, you know, we were embarking on something. We didn't know where it was going to go, what it was going to be like. And everyone we just piled in and was super positive and creative to the process. It was a joy.
It's going to take me a lifetime to get through it all.
think of the overtime.
Yeah, if I live long enough to spend it.
You coming down or something?
You should take it easy.
Yeah, you're very funny.
Maybe I should have my own show. You know, she pushes herself too hard.
Come on, Spence, if she didn't have forensics, what else would she play with?
Exactly.
I suppose I was the sort of coordinator of the team in terms of the glass board and you know what everybody was doing, but everybody had their role. We all knew, and we defined that very early on in the first episode, as to ourselves as to what our jobs were, and developed through that process.
What happened to the post-mortem?
Oh, a duty pathologist is going to come and do it tonight.
Right.
If Newman was murdered.
Yeah, I know that this isn't a cold case.
Exactly.
So what are you going to do? Hand it over to Major Crime? Is that what
Well,
you want?
Newman, yeah,
You
'cause he's
can
not
forget
ours.
it. It is ours. We called it. I want it.
CID didn't want it. All these names.
Yeah, when they thought they were cold cases, and that's fine.
So what do you want to do now? Throw your hands up in the air and say, we can't deal with this. This is a real-life murder inquiry.
Yeah,
Come
that's
on,
all
Mel.
I
Where's
meant.
your
All I'm
sense of
saying
adventure?
is, if Major Crime said they couldn't cope with it, then how are we going to?
Well, we always cope with it. Immense commitment, insane hours, and a bit of yoga.
What we wanted from the outset was to have the family, was to have a certain, I don't rush to use the word improvisational quality about it, but certainly an interaction that we encouraged through the script. And if it wasn't there, we would entertain the possibility of creating stuff for ourselves. And it was major and hugely enjoyable, because everyone was sort of, I thought, super talented and right up for it. And yeah, tremendous. That was the enjoyable part. And that was the key. We wanted that energy, you know. We certainly tried to make it real. You know, that was we didn't want shortcuts. We didn't want, things smoothed over that at the end people go, yeah, but surely if the person had seen that, then that wouldn't have... We didn't want any of that. We struggled and fought, everybody, writers, directors, actors, to make it absolutely real. I'm not saying that we were 100% successful in that achievement, but yeah, that's what we were aiming towards, a kind of truth.
So you were going to dump your husband and then go off to Switzerland skiing with your boyfriend?
Yes.
So you're as ruthless in love as you are in business? Is that really how you like to live your life?
Why would you care about that?
There was an episode where my wife, Sharon Morn, played twins, and she was a little reluctant to do it, but she did. I'm very glad that she did, and she's extremely talented. And it was a real pleasure to work with her. We met working together on a play, so it wasn't the first time that we'd worked together. But it was, I thought she was tremendous, yeah. She is tremendous.
So, where do we start?
We did, now, this sounds ridiculous, but I think it was 9 series, not 10, but we did it over 10 years. I got older and I suppose developed a greater degree of emotional connection to the cases and to the people, probably to add substance and drama.
Let me tell you something, Dr. Foley. You are a grown-up, right? And a psychologist. So handle it!
Well, that's just the point. I'm sick of handling it. It's exhausting.
I'll tell you what's exhausting. I'll tell you what's completely debilitating. And that is the fact that you, with your training and your learning and your ideas and your books and everything, you never come up with anything that's actually...
What?
Concrete or real. Yeah, you're all up here, hocus pocus. You're like a clairvoyant. You need a friggin' crystal ball.
You'd like me to be real, would you?
God, I'd love it to be real. What's stopping you?
You know what I mean when I say transparent?
There you go again, you see? Yeah, long word. Why don't you just get to the point, Grace? The point!
All right, well, the point is that you are ill.
You keep fresh and enthusiastic because every script is a new story, and they were 2-hour episodes, so that in itself, and new actors and directors and everything. So the fight was always fresh. It was always a new venture. It wasn't as if you were turning up with all the same people in every position. So that was good. That was good. People kept you on your toes. You get a new director and they'd say, well, they'd keep you going. I have to say, it's hard, but it's not as hard as work that my grandfather did or my father did, or So I put it into the category of hard luxury work, shall we say. You probably know you can do it, but you still have to do it, and you still have to create the foundation, the structure, the story, the perform, the actors, you know, the scenes. So you can never. That's the thing with acting. You never just go, "I got this in the bag," you know. It's easy, but you have to pull it out, you know.
With respect, Peter, we all know how much you sacrificed.
With respect, you have no idea what I have sacrificed. And I will contest this all the way, Exhibit 1 being my conviction rate.
Searching residents without warrants, intimidating suspects, planting evidence.
I do not miss Peter Boyd. He was a piece of my career that I thoroughly enjoyed, but it's like I did in 1979, you know, 45 years ago, whatever. I played a character called Shoestring, Eddie Shoestring, and there's never a day goes by when I don't get stopped. And it's nothing to do with age. I get stopped by younger people. I think, where? But, and people say, why don't you bring him back? Why don't you do it again, or as an older version? And I don't really think along those lines. I get asked every day, why did it stop? Because it was still hugely successful. I mean, we won awards, yeah, International Emmy and stuff like that, you know, so it was a show that people really did want to watch. You know, it was a show that they'd put in their diary and they set that time aside to watch it. And that's hugely flattering. I was really thrilled that we attained a standard that people appreciated.
So you blackmail me if I don't go quietly. That's your plan B?
Well, we just want you to accept our decision with good grace, Chief Superintendent.
Screw your teaching job. And screw you.
I'm supremely proud of Waking the Dead. It was 10 years of my life. I put a lot of sweat into that show. And for someone watching it for the first time, I'd like them to get out of it a truly authentic, emotional, involving experience. And they will watch, you know, depending which episodes you dip into, a pretty good slice of British drama. I think in its particular genre, it's up there.